It may have taken me a while, but I've finally found my way back to RaceRoom for the first round of a new BMW M235i Championship hosted by PetrolHead Sim Racing. Now we're kicking this series off with a 15-minute sprint race around the ultra-competitive Brands Hatch Indy circuit, and things really couldn't be much closer. I've managed to stick it P7 on the grid with a qualifying time of 50.6, but look how tight it is in there. The top 10 separated by just half a second. Making a clean getaway is going to be crucial, but I'm already in a panic as the red lights come on. My car rolling forward after I shifted into first gear with the clutch, and in a desperate attempt to avoid a drive-through penalty, I've jammed my foot on the brake pedal. Now this is going to cost me some serious speed out of the traps, and Andy Darnell has taken full advantage. Darnell started right alongside me on the fourth row, and he has blasted his way past up the inside. In fact, I'll be lucky if I don't lose more positions, because I've also got Adam Stewart on my inside and Gabriel Tapux looking menacing behind as well. So we're going to be 3 wide into Druid's hairpin. I'm going to have to hang it out wide. And it looks like Tapux might just have got his nose in front. However, we are still side by side coming down the hill. Now I'm going to have the inside line into Graham Hill Bend, but this is going to be really tricky. I've got to hold it as tight as I possibly can. I don't want to run Gabriel out onto the grass to the right. And ultimately that tight line cost me the exit speed that I needed to defend the position. So Tapux up into 8th. I'm down to 9th, and Adam Stewart all over my rear spoiler now. So it's not been a particularly successful opening lap. I've slipped 2 positions from 7th to 9th, and I find myself in a proper battle to even stay in the top 10. Now the driver with the best view of this top 10 fight is Rhino Berger in 11th, so I've switched the TV cam on from his on board. Meanwhile in front, Tapux is running really hot into Paddock Hill Bend. That's left a big gap up the inside. Can I challenge? Can I make the pass up the inside into Druid's hairpin? Well, Tapux is certainly leaving me space, but if he can just hold it alongside me, it's going to be his turn to have the inside line into Graham Hill Bend. And yeah, just back out of that one. I didn't fancy going around the outside, but I'm a bit wide anyway. And that's an invitation that Adam Stewart isn't going to turn down. He waltzes up the inside. And I might yet get done for another position because Rhino Berger has worked his way through. Oh, hard on the brakes there. I thought I was going to run into the rear of Berger for a moment then. The pack concertinaing together as Stewart and Tapux started banging doors through clearways. And at the end of lap 2, I find myself down to P11. So yeah, I'm just struggling to find a rhythm here in these opening laps after that flustered start. I lost 2 positions on lap 1, and then I lost another 2 positions on lap 2. This is me trying to make a move up the inside of Gabriel Tapux. It didn't work because it sent me out wide for Graham Hill Bend. I backed out of that one, but then ran wide on exit. That cost me a lot of speed along the back straight, which allowed not only Adam Stewart to get past, but Rhino Berger too. We'll rejoin the live action a couple of laps later, and although I'm still at the back of this pack, I am now in the top 10. When the lights went green, you may have seen a drive-through penalty pop up for Will McCone, so that has given me 1 position, and it might get better here because Berger is a little bit wide on exit. The rear of that BMW looked a touch unsteady coming out of that final turn, and I suspect Berger had to lift off the gas slightly just to correct his line. As a result, that has given me a golden opportunity to take 9th position, and I do tuck it up the inside into Paddock Hill Bend. So now the question is, can I close back in on the cars in front of me? Stewart is 1 second clear now in 8th position. However, he is putting Tapux under a great deal of pressure here, so if these two start grappling, I may be able to close the gap in. Oh, look at Stewart up on 2 wheels through Graham Hill Bend. For a moment there, I thought we were going to see him barrel roll into pit lane, but he has saved it. Yeah, all action here at Brands Hatch Indy. Stewart up on 2 wheels. That cost him some speed though, so that has allowed me to close back in and challenge. So yeah, just 0.6 of a second behind Stewart now. Can I get a little bit closer still and make this a 3-way battle for 7th position with Tapux? Stewart's certainly putting him under more pressure now. Oh, I thought he was going for a lunge up the inside of Graham Hill Bend for a moment there. However, it did just look like a bit of a ping issue. Nevertheless, Stewart is closer to Tapux now than he has ever been. Is he lining up and move into the final corner? It looks like he is. Stewart dives up the inside, but he can't get the car stopped. Brilliant driving from Tapux. He anticipated that perfectly. But yeah, that was the first big overtake attempt from Adam Stewart, so I'm curious to see if he tries the same move one lap later. We've jumped forward now, and once again, Stewart is within striking distance. He's certainly got the pace advantage through this final sector, and with Tapux preferring that wider line into the final turn, it does leave a gap open, and it's a gap Stewart's gone for again. He's held it tighter this time, but Tapux is fighting him off. Will Stewart have the pace to get alongside him down the start-finish straight and tuck it up the inside into T1? It doesn't look like he's got the speed, so instead he tucks back in behind Tapux into turn 1. Right, let's jump forward another 1.5 laps after yet more bumper-to-bumper racing. It's looking like Stewart is sizing up another attempt into clearways. Will it be third time lucky for the driver in 8th position? He's had 2 dress rehearsals already through here. Neither have come off, but he's given it another go. He's not able to hold it quite so tight. There's contact. There's a ping issue as well. That complicates things even further. The contact sent Tapux out a little wider than he would have liked. That gave me a sniff of a pass up the inside there, but I wasn't quite far enough alongside to make it stick. So as we start another lap, Tapux looking to fire back instantly. He makes a move up the inside of Paddock Hill Bend now. I wonder if Stewart may have just lifted there. Well, I suspect it might have been an apology for that contact in the previous corner, but he's looking to hit right back up the inside into Druids. There's a gap that I could follow him through here. Now I'm side by side with Tapux, and we swap a bit of paint too, exiting Druids there. Oh, this racing is getting closer and closer at Brands Hatch Indy. We're just approaching 2/3 race distance, and as things stand, it's Adam Stewart in 7th, Gabriel Tapux in 8th, and me in 9th. But yeah, it's so difficult to overtake in these cars on this circuit. You've got to expect a bit of door banging if you pull a move off. That's what we got through clearways as Stewart barges his way through. So has Tapux got anything up his sleeve to try and snatch that 7th position back? Will I be able to get past the pair of them? We're going to find out over a frantic final 5 minutes here at Brands Hatch. The 3 of us are almost identical on pace, which makes overtaking even more challenging. Or is that a mistake from Stewart, or was it just another pink glitch? Whatever it was, he's moved to the inside. He wants to defend that position into Druids. That sends Tapux out wide. Once again, it leaves a gap up the inside. I stick my nose up there, but I'm not quite close enough. Tapux is going to have a look up the inside into Graham Hill Bend. There's contact. Am I going to be able to squeeze through? We've lost Tapux. Stewart is out onto the grass. I've gained 1 position. I may be able to pick up a second one here as I pull alongside Stewart, but he's just far enough in front to slam the door shut and hold on to that 7th position. But I'm up to 8, Tapux down to 9th. Let's check out a replay of this one. Stewart defending into Druids. That sends Tapux out wide. Now he's going to carry a bit more momentum around that wider line, which gives him the boost he needs to try and have a look up the inside into Graham Hill Bend. Stewart goes for the apex. Tapux is already there, and it's Tapux who comes off worst. But I tell you what, how lucky was I? Look how close this was. Oh, within millimetres of being taken out there. That is as close as it gets. Well, Tapux's crash has allowed me to turn my full attention to Adam Stewart now. We are locked in a battle for 7th position. There's no pressure behind. Rhino Berger in 9th is more than 4 seconds back. And over these final couple of minutes, I've never been more than 0.2, 0.3 of a second away from Stewart. But no matter how close I get, I just can't find those extra tenths needed to get alongside him. And you can see how hard I'm trying, finding every possible inch of the track to use. Sometimes going a bit too far. I just picked up a track cut warning there for running a little bit wide, exiting Graham Hill Bend. But it's going to come down to the final lap, so we'll jump forward now. 1 more lap to go here at Brands Hatch. Is there one final twist in this race? Can I get past Adam Stewart? Now the tyres are starting to feel a little bit sketchy here, but I'm going to have a look up the inside. Is there space? No. Stewart slams the door shut into Druids. Now I think my last realistic opportunity to get past him is going to be along this back straight, so a good run through Graham Hill Bend is absolutely essential. Can I carry the momentum out of the corner? I can do, but I've picked up another track cut warning. I've got the speed, but it's not enough speed. And in all honesty, I couldn't in good conscience sling it up the inside of Stewart there, knowing that I'd got my momentum by breaching track limits. So we're going to have to tuck back in behind Stewart, and we're going to have to settle for 8th position. With a fantastic race. We said at the start it was going to be close, and it did not disappoint. Right, let's take a look at the classified results. P8 with the fastest lap in the race of 50.8, so a little bit slower than qualifying, but on the balance of things, I finished where I deserved to finish. Now, this wasn't the end of the action at Brands Hatch. After this sprint race, there was also a 30-minute feature race to come. However, that did not go nearly as well for me. But at this point of the race, things were looking really good. I'm in a comfortable 6th position. I'm just 0.2 of a second behind Paulie Eppery in 5th, and I'm putting him under all sorts of pressure, driving really well. And if that wasn't encouraging enough, I'm also within sight of the front 4. You can see all of them at the bottom of the hill there, so I am much closer to the leading pack than I was in race 1. Now we're approaching halfway distance here. We're almost 15 minutes into the race, and I am once again starting to feel the tyres letting go a bit. And as a result of that, I'm going to find it more and more difficult to continue applying pressure on Eppery in front. I'm really close through clear weights here, but that was about as close as I got. So we're going to jump forward to 2/3 race distance. You can see I've slipped right back now. 1.6 seconds is the gap to Eppery. And I'm under no pressure at all behind. Tapux is more than 5 seconds back, so I should have just settled for 6th position. Instead, I'm trying to push to catch up with the cars in front, and I make this catastrophic mistake. Unrepairable engine damage after that huge shunt into the barrier, and I am done. Yeah, just pushing these ultra hot tyres a little bit too hard. I ran out onto the gravel, and from there I was a passenger. A big accident. So unfortunately a DNF in race 2 for me. Before we look at the series standings, I just want to say a big thanks to the guys at PetrolHead Sim Racing for being so welcoming. I had a blast in this race, and I'll leave a link to their Discord in the description to this video if you fancy checking them out. But as for the series standings, that DNF proved incredibly costly. There's more points up for grabs in the feature race, and with a no score, I find myself down in 10th position with just 4 points. Up at the top, Henrik Andreasen leads the way with 62 points. He's just 1 ahead of Sebastian Gunther in 2nd, with Paulie Eppery in 3rd. Round 2 takes us to Laguna Seca in a fortnight's time, so with a bit of luck I'll fare better in the feature race there. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed watching my return to RaceRoom, and if you want to see more from this series, let me know in the comments. I will happily keep you updated on my progress as this series goes on. But for now, it's goodbye from Brands Hatch, and wherever you're racing this weekend, have a good one. Cheers.